Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the last day of the work week and the Vetiva breakfast meeting brought to you by Vetiva Capital in partnership with Frontier Africa Reports. So today during the session, our global equities desk will take us through some equity market performances across some markets in West Africa. Following this, our fixed income desk will take us through fixed income trading, performance, and currencies for yesterday. After this, we'll have other news and headlines across West Africa from our media partners at Frontier Africa Reports. Following that, we'll go into the Q&A segment where if you wish to speak, you may raise your hand and you'll be called upon to ask your question. However, during the course of the session, if you have any question for any of the speakers, you may send them using the chat or Q&A box functions or any of the comment sections if you are joining us on Zoom or Facebook, because we're streaming live on Facebook as well. So if you have any question for any of the speakers during the session, you may drop them using any of those channels during the session. After the session, as well, if you have any questions for any of the analysts, you may send us an email at research@vetiva.com and we'll get a response out to you. Very quickly, we'll be starting with the equity market performances and Simbiat Bada will be taking us through those. Good morning, Simbiat.
Good morning, Chima, and good morning to everyone. Like you mentioned, I'll be reviewing some of the equities market across West Africa, and I'll be starting off at BRVM. The BRVM market gained 26 basis points to close yesterday's trading session, with a year-to-date return at 17.11%. As expected, the market saw improvements in volume and turnover levels, with increased buy-side activity. Leading the gainers chart second time in a row was Solibre Côte d'Ivoire with a 7.5% price appreciation, followed by Crown CM Côte d'Ivoire, which saw a reversal from Wednesday's negative close. Our expectation for today, we expect the market to close the week positive as we have continued to see increased buy interest. Over in Ghana, the Ghana equities market traded on a muted note yesterday as composite index remained flat. This will be the third consecutive flat close in that market. There was a bit of improvement in the number of equities that traded. However, the market witnessed a very quiet session as turnover declined further. Turnover declined by 90% in comparison to Wednesday's session due to investors staying on the sidelines and corporate earnings season coming to a close. We expect the market to trade in similar pattern amid investors taking a step back to reassess the markets. Finally, over in Nigeria, the Nigerian equities market closed positive with 11 basis points gain, reducing our year-to-date loss to 1.94%. This was supported by gains, particularly in the industrial sector, as we saw Dangote Cement close up by 67 basis points, and the index was also the only sector that closed positive with a 35 basis points gain. Speaking to activity level, we saw a large cross trade in Honeywell, 350 million units was crossed at $1.70 Kobo, thereby pushing volume traded up by over 200%. The cross trade accounted for about 61% of the total volume yesterday, while turnover also grew marginally by 9.23%. So taking out the cross trade, it was a relatively quiet session yesterday. And our expectation for the last trading session of the week, we expect the market to close the week slightly positive with mixed sectoral performance among the indices. Thank you, and that'll be all for now.
Thank you very much, Simbiat. Next, we'll be hearing from Omarege on the fixed income market. Good morning, Omarege.
Good morning, everybody. System liquidity improved marginally to open at 40.34 billion negative yesterday, coming from the 117.5 billion negative that was recorded on Wednesday. As a result of the slight improvement in system liquidity, interbank rate losing by an average of 25 basis points, as OBB and overnight rate closed at 16.67% and 17.33% respectively. For expectations today, we believe that interbank will trade at higher levels on the back of a possible CRR debit. The parallel market remained stable yesterday to trade at 515 naira to $1, while the earning window opened at 411.83 naira to $1. The highest trade that was recorded yesterday was 412.5 naira to $1, while the closing rate was 411.67 naira to $1. Brent and WTI lost 0.4% and 0.5% to open today at $71 and $68.76 per barrel, respectively. The TB's market traded on an active note yesterday as market players tried to cover their lost bid from the NTB auction that held on Wednesday. As expected, offers on the newly issued one-year paper, that's August 11, 2022, crashed to sub 7% levels, as most offers were seen around 6.7%. The newly issued one-year paper was the most actively traded maturity yesterday. We also saw slight interest on other long-dated maturities, the 30th June 2022 and the 14th July 2022 papers. The OMO market traded on a muted note yesterday as average benchmark rate remained unchanged at 7.5%, with few trades consummated on the mid-dated maturities, especially on the 7th December 2021 and the 22nd February 2022 papers. The bonds market traded on an active note yesterday, with bullish sentiment weakness across the benchmark curve during the early hours of yesterday's trading session, as players traded sentiment of a further moderation in rates as subsequent auctions on the back of the rate cut on the marginal rate of the one-year paper at the last NTB auction. The DMO's willingness to still oversell in the local front did little to taper the moderation that has dominated the bonds market in the past few weeks, as offers on 2036 and 2050 declined from 12.8 and 13% to trade around 12.65 and 12.75% respectively. However, offers on the 2050 maturity improved slightly during the closing hours of yesterday's trading session as players started to create short positions on that bond. Offers on 2050 finally settled at around 12.85% to close yesterday. Overall, average benchmark rate declined by about 15 basis points to close at 12.05% yesterday. The Eurobond market traded on a very muted note yesterday, with few trades consummated on EcoBank 2024 and 2026 maturities. The sovereign space closed yesterday flat. For our expectations today, we believe that the current bullish sentiment in the bonds market will persist to close the week, with some investors coming to the market to cherry pick some attractive offers across the benchmark curve, while the TB's market we expect it to trade actively as players continue to try to feed their lost bid from the last NTB auction. That'll be all for fixed income. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Omarege. Finally, we'll be hearing from Faith Abeti, and she'll be taking us through headlines and other updates across Africa. Good morning, Faith. Please unmute, Faith.
Thank you and good morning to everyone. Here at Frontier, our Africa report will start with an update of what is happening in East Africa. The Bank of Uganda, BOU, has held the central bank rate at 6.5% for the second time since June this year in a bid to cushion the economy against
Hello, Faith. We
Implications
can no
by the
longer.
COVID-19 pandemic. Let's enjoy.
Hi, Faith.
Hello.
We missed your points for about 2 minutes. If you can just recap.
Okay. I'll start with the happenings in East Africa. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. In East Africa, the Bank of Uganda has held the central bank rate at 6.5% for the second time since June this year in a bid to cushion the economy over there against risk occasioned by the COVID-20. The BOU had lowered the CBR from 9% to a historic level of 6.5% in July and sustained it in August this year. In March 2015, the CBR had also raised the
Hello, Faith. It seems as though your network is not very reliable at the moment. So we cannot hear you. We'll simply move on to the Q&A segment. So for our listeners, if you have any questions for us, for any of the speakers that have spoken, please send them using the Q&A segment or the chat box functions, or you can raise your hand if you prefer to speak. I see that we have no question for us today. We thank everyone for joining this session today. We hope that you have a productive day ahead and a wonderful weekend ahead as well. We hope to see you same time on Monday. And we hope that everyone, or encourage everyone to continue to stay safe. Thank you for joining and good morning.